All right, it's Thursday, August 1st. We've made it all the way to August, the depths of summer. Interesting commissioner meeting today. A lot kind of happened. So real quick, we have pending. They approved the minutes. They had, a lot of these things are from the Mark Dahl office, the engine. So he had site revitalization bills, so you kind of have the people that are overseeing the managing of these properties, and then you have the actual brownfield bills associated with those properties, and then you had some drawdowns. So there's several papers that had to be approved to kind of do this one single thing. It's the Feed and Grain building, and then the Dunkirk Masonic Temple. Those were brownfield properties where they come in and they're a hazard. So like there's the site that they're looking at down south of town where the old Mary's flower stand used to be, and that used to be a gas station. I believe was a conversation, it's been a while ago, that there's an auto, anyways, there's contamination in the ground. So they're doing soil samples, and they're kind of evaluating like where's the scope of the contamination. And if it's found to be hazardous, then it can be a brownfield where they'll come in and they have to do special cleanup. And so, you know, it's not just condemned buildings, but there has to be a hazard, and it doesn't necessarily have to be like a chemical hazard. So some of the buildings that are, like in downtown, that are kind of moldy and, you know, you don't want to go in them, those can also be a brownfield, but it's very fluid. Mark talks about it in the video if you want to hear some more explanation on it. So it's all a thing of trying to clean up these eyesores and possible contamination. And they approved the bills. It's Thursday. We had Holly and the Chamber of Business Alliance come in today. They had about a 20-minute executive session on economic development, G8. And then she had a whole list of paper of different items that she ran through in the next 10 minutes because she only had 30 minutes. There's some investment groups that are interested in Hardin County because of the potential housing growth from Columbus and Marysville coming up into our way. And so talk to them about housing type thing, but they're a group that just wants to invest in businesses that would be coming. They had two individuals who are looking at bringing in the liquor license to do that's the August 12th is the deadline. So, and there's other people. So there are people who are working to get a liquor store back in because Rite Aid is going out. She met with Lynn to talk about different parcels that would be available for building, some feasibility studies. She had found a group that would help with feasibility studies. Possibly you have to listen to she talks real fast in those 10 minutes. And so you kind of have to listen if you get to the longer video. The local government funds board had a meeting. She did a restaurant referral for Kenton. The Jones Road, where out there, the Hardin Hills, across the street there, where they're moving from farmland to M2 property, M2 manufacturing land. That's going to be August 12th at 6 o'clock at the city council meeting. Eats on the Streets was a big success. They're having the First Fridays program that somebody else is coordinating that, but she's just promoting it. They're on Twirl's parking lot. It's First Fridays, that's this Friday. They're doing themed kind of parties, and so they're trying to bring businesses to come to downtown on those Friday nights, so the different stores will be open. She talked a little bit about ordinances for the historical downtown, which is through the city. Also, she was approached there was a certain project in done in Hardin County that was suggested that she get an award for, right, to apply for this award. She did not say what the project was. So I'm not sure how we can find that out. I guess if they win, you would find out. There's an ADA CIC meeting, and Roger Crow brought up if there was a Casey's coming in across from a McDonald's. I'm not sure which McDonald's. I know we have one, ADA has one, because they did apply for a liquor license. Somebody had contacted Roger about that possibility, and so Holly was able to confirm that it does look like that's a good possibility. I thought it was interesting. Alex asked to see the little paper that she had written up because she sped through it, her little thing quickly, and she said no, that document was not allowed to be shared, even though it was brought to a public meeting. So I'm not sure what that is, but watch the video and you can get the most of what was on that document. So and then we had 2 bid openings today. We had a bid opening with Reed Road, which is the they're like small little private sewer. They're not private. They serve a small community of houses, privately owned houses, and a lot of times that stuff they will put in initially, but then they hand it over to the county to maintain. And so now we're maintaining this, and the bid came in at Crooks and Sons Excavating, and the installation was at $99,000. So they had already purchased the tanks, gotten the tanks in, and so now this is to put the tanks in. So they're, a couple $100,000 to maintain these and update them, which I think we have 3 in the Kenton area. We have the Reed Road. So that should be like a September delivery is what they're looking at. And then Luke Underwood said that he's going to put in another bid because he wanted to see how this one went. Put in another bid for the Eldridge Road little sewer thing, and that would be October, November timing to get that put in. So those things, and then there's another one, of course I can't remember it. And also got a little bit of update on the engineers. So their salt building is going up. It was falling down, so then they were able to use ARPA funds to get a new one built, and so that's going up very well. They're going after an ODOT program to do the 25 miles of county roads paving for next year. So that's good. The paving out at the fairgrounds, because I know a couple people have asked about that, is being done in-house through the engineer's office. And so they're working on that. And then it was paid through ARPA funds, paid for that handicap paving out at the fairgrounds. And we just had some conversations why we were waiting on the bids to come in. So we had that one bid come in, and then the Village of Ada CDBG fire hydrant replacement project. Mark Dahl's involved with that, getting grants in, and so they had 9 bids come in. They had 5 companies attend the meeting of the 9 that were there, and also the Ada city manager attended. And so they opened those. They said there was a wide range of prices, so that will go back to Mark to evaluate those bids, and then they'll come back later and award the bid to whatever company that is. So they're working through that process. So while we had some downtime, I got to talk to Roger and Tim about so they're digging a 12-foot long trench. I didn't get pictures. I should go back and get pictures, but they're digging a big trench. So all the sewer lines and everything they're doing in downtown, they are connecting that to the courthouse all the way up to the walls. Now, past conversations that I've had as far as funding, that even though it's county property on that courthouse, you know, from the courthouse out to the street. I don't know that the courthouse is paying for that from what I've understood, but that is just being rolled up in the city funds of just that whole downtown. So that was a nice treat from the city to do that for the courthouse for longevity's sake. It is a big hole. You can watch the video. It's disrupting the grass, and but once they get it all done, it'll be done for years and years, and you won't even know. And so we talked about a little bit of the downtown, maybe you know, when they get over to the other side of the square. We talked about the sidewalks around the courthouse, that those will be replaced with concrete when this is all said and done, because they are pretty bad looking. So we just kind of had a nice little conversations. So check that out. And I hope you guys have a nice weekend. It's supposed to be beautiful this weekend. And thanks for watching, and stay updated on your government. Thanks. All right, I called and got an update on kind of the downtown conversation that we had there in the commissioner's office. And, you know, part of the reason why they did the sewer on Main Street, they did the Main Street first, is because there's a huge sewer line that runs all the way north to south, right? And it doesn't actually feed the buildings in the downtown other than the courthouse. The courthouse feeds directly into that main sewer line. And so the reason why they have to dig that big trench and fix that right now is because the old sewer line is going to be obsolete. So had the work not been done, like I said, it was paid through the city to connect the courthouse to the sewer lines, because the old sewer line is going to be obsolete. So it's kind of a necessary activity there, or else they would have put the courthouse in a hardship, or you would have had you couldn't maintain both sewer lines, the old one and the new one. So so definitely a have to do. And the sewer lines, we had talked about them being in the alleys, so they are on the alleys of both sides of the square there, and those will be lined. So they're not replacing them in the alleys, but they are going to line them and, you know, get them updated so that they last longer. And you know, you are going to have traffic, you know, we have all the traffic diverted over to Detroit Street now while we're repairing Main, and then that's all going to go the other way. And that's just a matter of, you have to do one or the other. They knew that the main sewer line, which was the main EPA mandated activity, that you know, that was going to take the longest and the hardest. So you're going to do that first, even though your truck traffic and stuff is going to go over on your new project. They've built it so that it can withstand that. You know, it may not be pleasant and perfect, but that's what it is. And I'm pretty excited to see the next stage of how that's happening. The other thing is Detroit Street, right? They're doing the downtown area. And so then it's gonna, once they finish that, they're looking at grants to continue Detroit Street all the way up to, I think it is Eliza Street, out to the city limits, right? And so they're trying to get, you know, when you're doing Detroit Street, you're doing that downtown area, and then you're kind of pushing it all the way out, which is not what they're doing on Main Street. So it's a little bit it's hard to know where to start. You know, you always want to do things different in hindsight, but at least that's a little clarification on where the sewer lines really are. So when they do Detroit Street, it's not going to take nearly as long, right? Because you're going to do water lines and storm drainage lines down that Detroit Street, and that's it, right? So it's going to probably feel like it's going to go super quick, because we've been, you know, watching this other construction for so long. So hope that helps. And again, ask questions, get involved. See you later.